stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with Platform Times. The major story here, Gowon urges patience in assessing Tinubu's government, discusses ECOWAS crisis. Gowon urges patience in assessing Tinubu's government, discusses ECOWAS crisis. Another story here now. Governor Abiodun's media team spent 2.3 billion naira in 4 years amidst the assembly probe. And Lagos nabs 11 impersonators extorting money from motorists. EFCC launches nationwide raids on bureau de change amidst naira fall. Some stories you find on the front page of the platform. Quickly here, ban on bread production targets bandit supply chain, says Zamfara governor. All right, he given an explanation there. Okay, and that's it from the Platform Times. So moving now to the front page of the Nation newspaper. The major story here says NLC rejects DSS warning to shelve planned strike, a planned protest. NLC rejects DSS warning to shelve planned protest. The riders here. Secret police hoodlums likely to hijack march. TUC disowns Ajira's unilateral move. There are reports that the TUC have pulled out of this planned protest. And the story here, the picture depicting Akeredolu's body in Owo for final rites, and the Ondo State Governor there, Lucky Ayedatiwa, speaking during speaking there. We see crowds there, all right, coming to honor the late Governor Akeredolu. Now, troops killed terrorists in Kaduna Forest, clear hideout. That story you find at the downstream. Oyo reopens facility. Another story at the top corner. Senate opposes plan to remove electricity subsidy. Edo 2024, APC to conclude primary. President not for zoning. PDP okay strict guidelines justify exclusion of 381. And 12 million more Nigerians to get direct cash transfer are held for attempted murder, firearms possession. Another story here, federal workers get 4 months wage award. Give Tinubu's reforms more time. Gowon pleads with Nigerians. Some stories you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper. We move swiftly now to the Punch newspaper. TUC NLC split as DSS warns labor against planned protests. And the riders here, NLC took protest decision unilaterally. TUC alleges vowed to stay away from demonstration. Ajero accuses DSS of blackmail. Agency warns labor against plot to destabilize nation. And the pictures you're seeing there, motorist groaners, fuel scarcity hits Lagos hard. Long queues there, and a long pile of those who are also waiting to buy into their jerry cans. There this morning as well. We saw long queues on the road of motorists. We hope that that will be resolved as quickly as possible. Now, Edo APC welcomes rerun after controversial governorship primary. Lagos prophet drowns during Valentine's Day beach hangout. A sad one there. And 10 billion naira fraud. EFCC to arraign ex-Kwara Governor Ahmed Friday. We had this conversation yesterday. And then Senate rejects electricity tariff hike, PRIPS 2 trillion naira subsidy. And then 50th anniversary Punch holds exhibition to showcase iconic photos. Some stories you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. To the Vanguard now. The major story here, hardship, DSS, NLC in face-off over planned protest. The riders there, shelve your protest. DSS tells organized labor at some elements planning violence. Face your job. You can't stop us. NLC dares DSS. JF takes on DSS. Reaffirms support for NLC. And then the picture there depicting Gowon's visit to the president, where a number of issues were discussed. And he also saying Nigerians should give the president more time for them to see the impact of his policies. Now, police arrest Labour Party National Chairman Aburi Ogbaloy in Benin. Some stories you find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. We'll move to the Daily Independent now. And a major story here, Senate warns federal government over plan to increase electricity tariff, seeks solution to increase in prices of cement, building materials, urges federal government to allow importation of cement as stopgap measure. And another story here, businesses dying, manufacturers shutting down. Ubi is saying, asks federal government to stop arbitrary, ever-increasing custom duties. It is particularly difficult doing business now, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is saying. The federal government to resume direct cash transfers to 12 million Nigerians. Monetary policy nominees show way out of forex food crisis, and the story, Lassa fever kills 14 in Ebonyi, a sad development there. All right, we'll move quickly now to the New Telegraph. Power halt proposed increase in electricity tariff subsidy removal. Senators for the government moved to probe 2 trillion naira subsidy, 1.3 trillion naira, 1.3 billion naira, dollars debt. Electricity consumers billed 134.5 billion naira amid darkness. Current poor services caused by low allocation from grid. EKEDP is saying provide light or leave Southeast IPOP tells EEDC. And this other story, hardship Senate grills CBN's MPC nominees on way out of FX food crisis. CBN's Monetary Policy Committee nominees have been asked the way forward. Reps want federal government states to expedite action on palliatives kicked against a hike in law school fees. Some stories you find there on the front page of the New Telegraph. To the blueprint now, federal government plans return of cash transfers and it rejects electricity tariff hike. Lawmakers tell federal government to import cement. Be patient with Tinubu, Gowon pleads. And Labour House cracks as TUC differs with NLC over 2-day protest. We are one family, says NLC. And at the downstream, finally, federal government hands over Zungeru hydroelectric power plant to concessionaire. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Ibrahim.
First news is the first to be reviewed here. Labour divided over planned nationwide protest as NLC dares DSS, vows to go ahead with scheduled action. TUC disagrees with NLC for taking unilateral decisions on protest, writes Ajaero. Shelve planned protest, DSS advises Labour. Hardship, Senate kicks, warns federal government against hiking electricity tariff. So probe 2 trillion naira subsidy claim. Constitution review, Senate to give priority to state police power devolution. Give Tinubu time to address challenges. Gowon appeals to Nigerians. Alleged defamation. Emefiele, right, Akpabio threatens to 25 billion naira lawsuit. Why we arrested Labour Party's chairman, Abure. Police, as party fingers Apapa's loyalists over development. Protest erupt in Edo 2 days to Guba primaries. Edo Guba primary, APC replaces Uzodinma with Cross River Governor as chairman. Diesel sold at 1,153 per litre in January 2024. NBS. The post Oshun monarch petitions IGP over move to select new king. Lift sanctions on Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. Ex-military ruler urges ECOWAS. Bank of England to release King Charles's banknotes in June. Next is Salient Times. Shelve your nationwide protest. DSS tells NLC says some elements planning violence. No going back on nationwide protest. Labour replies. Tinubu appoints Kemi Nandab as Immigration Controller General. 2 soldiers killed in raids on Boko Haram hideouts in Lake Chad. APC replaces Uzodinma with Otu as Edo Governor Primary Chair. 650 million naira debt, Ogun Waste managers ask Abiodun to intervene. May down tools if man dies after being bitten by a pet lizard. Protests storm EFCC office, demand release of ex-Kwara Governor Ahmed. Police in show force arrest Labour Party National Chairman. Labour Party's Abure arrested for attempted murder. Police. Court remands two other alleged murder of commercial sex worker. Man accused of beating his wife to coma in Ekiti. Hardship. Don't hike electricity tariff. Senate warns Nigerian government to probe 2 trillion naira subsidy claim. Landlord docked for allegedly disconnecting tenants' water, electricity. Next is Nigeria News Direct. Economic hardship. Federal government to expand cash transfers to aid 12 million households amid rising costs. CBN implements measures to stabilize Naira, combat inflation. EFCC rates beat road exchange operators in Ibadan over alleged Naira-dollar exchange hike. How delayed court judgment plunged federal government manufacturers into debt. NERC. Blame game. Emefiele demands 25 million naira for defamation. Accuses Akpabio of being complicit in Nigeria's economic woes. Port gridlock. Oyetola's efforts yield result as federal government completes Tin Can Road. Police arrest embattled Labour Party National Chairman over alleged attempted murder of youth leader. Next is Daily Trust. 2 weeks after Tinubu's directive, federal government yet to release free grains to Nigerians. No food items with us yet, NEMA. Agric Ministry's official blames data authentication. Invest in farming to tackle hunger. U.S. urges government. 10 countries approach ICJ against Israel's occupation of Palestine. Farmers in distress as fertilizer price soars. Hardship. Labour ignores DSS, insist on protest. Lift sanctions against Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Gowon tells ECOWAS. And below the nameplate, Benue government issues 14-day notice to quit to herders. Naira gains as security operatives sustain raid on Bureau de Change, and 100 corpses trapped as Kwara mortuary over ritual activities. 100 corpses trapped. Interesting. Now, this Nigeria Senate Constitution Review Panel to conclude assignment in 24 months, says Barao. Edo drama intrigues as APC, PDP pick candidates in Goba primaries today. Oshiomhole, Tinubu against zoning of party ticket in the state. Uzodinma dropped as chair of election committee. PDP aspirant asks court to stop exercise, alleges infraction of party guidelines. Gowon wants sanctions on Burkina Faso, Niger, others lifted by ECOWAS. Labour Party chair Abure arrested in Benin for attempted murder. And on the ear of the newspaper, diesel sells at 1,153 per litre in January, says NBS. Kerosene at 4,870.83 a gallon. Next is Leadership newspaper. Edo governorship. APC orders fresh primary to clear legal hurdles. Police. Senate rejects planned electricity tariff hike. Gunmen kill 24, injure 18, burn houses in Benue. Naira gains strength at official market, closes at 1,542 to the dollar. And above the masthead, Kemi Nandab appointed new CG of Immigration. Hardship. Despite DSS warning, Labour insists on protests. Last but not least is the Guardian newspaper. Customs 5 trillion naira target threatens trade, heightens price crisis. And you can see the infographics of the cost, about 15 million naira to clear 1 by 40 feet container and 10 million naira to clear 1 by 20 feet container. And 5 banks impairment charges hit 580 billion naira in 9 months. Aburi arrested as aggrieved candidate seek his prosecution. Petrol queues spread nationwide as Ipman blame supply disruption. Transcript processing saga. How not to treat alumni of modern universities, polytechnics. And Borno engages monarchs on reintegration of repentant terrorists. Tinubu gave governors 30 billion naira each to address food shortage. And lack of funds forces the Tigers out of AfroBasket qualifiers. That's about it for the newspapers. For you.
Right. That story on the 30 billion given to governors to address food hardship caught my attention, really. I think it's high time we begin to engage our state governors, because all attention has been on the president, the federal government, and all of this. What about the subnationals? The money that you have been getting since the removal of fuel subsidy has been much more. And now the report is saying you were given 30 billion naira to address this matter of hardship. What have you been doing with it? I think it is high time that people in various states begin to hold their governors to account. Tell us, where is the money? What are you doing with it? It's important we have this conversation.
Nigerians with misplaced attention, oftentimes it is always the president. It's always the president. It's always the person at the center, whether they like it or not, whether they like the person or not. But most times we take off our attention from, let's